You announced last fall that you're rolling out this new rail ecosystem on this platform called Predix, like prediction, I assume. You're connecting the trains, the switches, the whole system, 21,000 GE locomotives across 50 countries. How do you do that, and how do you make money on that? And what is the, the value add to your customer of connecting all the trains through this process?
So it starts with the locomotive itself. So these machines are big, heavy industrial machines, 440,000 pounds.
Wow.
And when you really think about how a locomotive runs, it's highly technical. And there's deep embedded software that controls architecture in it. So the first premise of the digital business is you start with the computing power on the locomotive itself. And we develop software that you can install on a locomotive, and I'll give you one example. One's called Trip Optimizer, that when you install it, what it does is it constantly monitors how that locomotive is performing. It's pulling data about the train, about the track, the grade, the conditions, the weight and length of what it's pulling, and it's constantly tuning the engine as the conductor or the engineer drives the train. And so that product reduces fuel consumption by 10% through a piece of software. So that's a great example of, it's a great product, and it's also one that has just a very clear economic benefit for our customers. So there's a great value exchange there. Mm-hmm. Then you extend it to, okay, how do you think about how these trains move in the environment they're in? Railroads plan and they dispatch trains on a network, but they've got fixed infrastructure that they're running on. And so getting a train safely to its destination on time is generally every day a pretty challenging feat, because there's a lot of obstacles that crop up along the way. They may come to an intersection and one train has to take priority over another. And how do you really take data and AI to optimize in the background and always be optimizing that network and the velocity of the cargo you're carrying on that network?
Are you doing it for the customer, or are you just giving them the tool?
We have built software that we run in a customer's environment to do that.
I see.
And so it involves deep sets of data. It interfaces with their operational software. But there's a lot of AI and just sort of mathematical algorithms behind it, too. So
you're running a business that's close to the size of a Fortune 500 company. Andrew mentioned 10,000 employees, close to $5 billion in revenue. But what's it like? You've always wanted to do it. Now finally you're doing it on a super large scale with a lot of pressure. How do you jump in and articulate your message to 10,000 people about where you guys are going?
I think a couple things. First of all, it's very gritty. Being in these industrial businesses, they could be pretty gritty. Look, the locomotives business is, I think, incredibly iconic. It's been around for more than 100 years. It's just such an iconic American industry, right? Our customers are 150 years old. And so it's very patriotic to serve them, which I think is exciting. But the other side of it is both our customers and our employees really want to hear the digital vision articulated for the industry. How will this industry transform, build the capability to help us get there? And both customers and employees want to be part of that journey. So I think what's been exciting about it is when you lay that out, it just very naturally resonates for people because they can see it in their daily lives, right? You can see the Teslaization of the car industry. You can see the Uberization, really, of taxis and commuting and how we share assets. Those same kinds of trends are coming to life in the industrial world.
Are you worried about an Uber for trains?
Look, trains are a very unique sort of instrument, right? I think what you're going to see, though, is that brain of the train, the digital capability becomes increasingly pervasive. And this Uberization, this idea that you both sweat your assets more and run maybe even more trains on a network to get higher velocity off your fixed investment, I think those are the kinds of plays you'll see emerge very deeply in the next 10 to 20 years.